In 17 years, they claimed 15 championships. That was the insane report card Kobe and Duncan handed in by 2015. But anyone with eyes could see these two old warriors were running on fumes. Whoever could take down the Lakers first would write their name into history. So in the 2015-16 season, every single team in the league wanted to be the one to draw first blood. After a full off-season of recruiting, a lot of teams had genuinely built the firepower to do it. And we're not just talking about the Sixers, who had gone 5 games with the Lakers last season, and were stacked with James, Davis, Brand, Butler, Farid, Adams, Mayo, Williams, and TJ Warren. Just in the West alone, the Kings adding Ariza and Okafor was enough to put the Lakers on high alert, because right now, only 2 Lakers players still had an overall rating above 90. Duncan had dropped all the way down to 82, and the guys on the bench, Granger and Berea, were shadows of their former selves. But against all expectations, the Lakers actually won 1 more game than they did last season and finished with the best record in the entire league. Sure, no Laker took home the MVP, and nobody made the first team All-NBA, but they still had 3 players make the All-NBA teams. Rondo landed on the second team and the first all-defensive team. Clay made the second team and the second all-defensive team. And Gasol made the third team. With a roster like that, even with Rondo sitting out the first round to recover from injury, with Berea stepping in as the starting point guard, the Lakers cruised through round 1 without breaking a sweat. But when it came to facing the Kings in the second round, the Lakers weren't taking anything for granted. If Brandon Roy hadn't gone down during the regular season, Sacramento's record might have been neck and neck with LA's end. This season, Curry's shooting had reached an almost supernatural level, genuinely unguardable. From the opening tip, Curry went to work on the Lakers, shots flying from everywhere, looking chaotic on the surface, but flowing like water underneath. And what made it even scarier was this: once the Kings locked into their rhythm, their shooters on the perimeter could erupt all at once and blow a game wide open in one single run. Kobe had been in the league long enough to know exactly how dangerous that was. With just over 4 minutes left, he rallied the troops and set up for a winner-take-all showdown against the Kings. But at his age, could he still pull off a miracle? Let's watch and find out.
What a beautiful play. He finished with 13 shot attempts tonight. Thompson with the ball, fires from outside. Eldridge pulls down the rebound. Roy. Another 3 from Sacramento. Out on the perimeter, Rondo Kobe.
Lob and a thunderous finish at the rim. The pass, the catch, and the dunk.
Every single piece connected perfectly.
Not a flaw in sight. Roy with the ball.
Say what you want about Kobe's offense. His defense has never wavered.
A gorgeous mid-range bucket by Kobe. The man is giving everything he has got for this team. The shot goes up.
Team Duncan comes away with a rebound. I actually thought that one was going in.
On the right side, Gasol. Eldridge snags the board.
Curry trying to run Rondo's own playbook against him, but it didn't fall. The Lakers are mounting a comeback, and the Kings better keep an eye on Clay's pull-up threes in transition. See, what did I tell you? The gap is down to just 5 points.
Stolen by Duncan. Out on the wing, Rondo. The ball finds Kobe Duncan. Aldridge guarding him. That is Rondo. Gasol shot. Ariza on the wing. It goes in. Assisted by Stephen Curry.
The defense completely gave that one away.
Thompson with the ball.
Ariza with the rebound. That was not an easy board to grab.
Out on the perimeter, Curry on the wing, Roy. Back to Curry. And a beautiful bank shot off the glass.
At the most critical moment, the Lakers' defense and offense both went dark at the same time. The Kings kept finding the bottom of the net, while the Lakers kept coming up empty. And with every second that ticked off the clock, the gap between the Lakers and victory grew wider and wider. This kind of loss was something the Lakers had rarely experienced over the past decade plus. Because in the clutch, it was always Kobe and Duncan who delivered. And the league's most dominant duo at their peak. Right now, they were simply running out of gas. Meanwhile, Curry's offense was starting to look completely unstoppable. And then it got worse. Rondo went down again, a broken right hand, leaving the Lakers' perimeter defense stretched dangerously thin. Curry exploded again in Game 2, and the Lakers had no choice but to dust off the same strategy they'd used back in 2014. Kobe was handed the keys, starting at point guard in the playoffs for just the second time in his entire career. But for Kobe, this role wasn't unfamiliar territory anymore. And Clay, Chandler, Duncan, and Gasol, none of them were hired guns. They'd been in the trenches with Kobe for years, through the highs and the lows, so with Kobe running point, the Lakers' shooting and defense honestly held up just as well as their normal rotation, if not better. The Kings head coach tried everything to counter it, even going small, throwing out a quick and mobile lineup to match up against LA. But Isaiah Thomas and Curry's backcourt defense was clearly overmatched against the size of Kobe and Clay and their superior athleticism. After adjustment after adjustment after adjustment, the clock kept running, and the suspense kept fading. It wasn't until the final minute that Curry and Roy suddenly linked up and unleashed a scoring burst that finally got the crowd back on their feet. But Roy's shot rattled out, and just like that, their comeback run was dead. Then Kobe found Chandler for a two-handed flush, and that was it. The Kings couldn't escape the fate of being beaten by the Lakers' closing lineup. Kobe at point guard looked like the most unguardable version of Kobe we'd seen in years. And more importantly, the Lakers' suffocating, connected defense had the Kings completely at a loss. In Game 4, Curry essentially ignored Kobe's defense and put together the best individual performance of the series, and the Kings still lost. If Curry, Roy, and Ad couldn't all go off at the same time, Sacramento was looking at a reverse sweep. But of course, these guys didn't believe in destiny. They didn't buy into the idea that Kobe and Duncan were some immortal, unbeatable legend. Even with Game 5 on the road at Staples, the Kings came in with a game plan and executed it. They were right there with the Lakers, stride for stride. Curry picked up right where he left off from Game 4, going straight at old man Kobe with relentless, explosive scoring. And Kobe, still burning with the will to win, wasn't about to take it lying down. Both men came at each other with everything they had, and the lead changed hands again and again as their full arsenals went on display. On one hand, Kobe's physical tools and abilities were clearly declining. On the other, Curry was genuinely the most dangerous opponent Kobe had faced in his entire career. So honestly, the Lakers falling behind on their home floor wasn't all that surprising. The question was, could they reel off 3 straight wins and take back home court advantage? Stay tuned.
Hits a three-pointer from outside. Pulls up over Thompson. The bank shot doesn't fall. Kobe.
Clay on the wing.
Ties the game. Okafor comes down with the rebound.
The Kings are fast breaking, and this is a great opportunity to widen the lead.
Curry with the ball, facing Kobe. Second chance opportunity. Beautiful. That mid-range jumper is good.
Kobe on the wing.
The Kings grabbed the rebound. That was an easy 2 points just sitting there.
And missing it, he made it very clear he wasn't happy with himself.
Screen is set. The shot is up. Wide open, but it still didn't fall. Lay gets the ball. Thompson fires from 3. And the Lakers' luck just isn't there tonight.
The Kings are loving every 3 he keeps putting up.
He has been awful in the second half. Curry gets a bucket, just like everybody expected. His shooting efficiency is through the roof. Like we said, he's been dialed in all game long.
They're doubling Kobe. Chandler knocks it down from outside.
Right in that spot on the arc where he loves to get a shot.
On the wing, Roy pulling up from 3. Gasol grabs the rebound. Now Thompson has it. Ball finds Kobe. Fires from outside. Okafor comes away with a huge rebound.
Maybe it was the legs going. Maybe the shooting touch just dried up. Either way, Kobe couldn't knock down that massive 3 when it mattered most. All the Lakers could do was keep fouling. But thankfully, they still had Clay. Every time the Kings hit their free throws, Clay fired right back, giving the Lakers a puncher's chance to even the score. But that also meant Clay was drawing a triple team from Sacramento. Forced to rush the pass to Kobe, and the Black Mamba's 3 rimmed out again. The Lakers' last hope of a comeback died right there. For the first time in many, many years, the Lakers felt something they weren't used to, a deep, helpless sense of powerlessness. The old Lakers never feared crunch time. But a Kobe going 7 for 20, and a Duncan with only 6 points. It was a wake-up call that couldn't be ignored. This time, they had to take Curry and his Kings seriously, and Clay had to step up and take over. So from the opening tip of Game 6, Kobe and Clay came out swinging together. Curry and the Kings were riding a massive wave of confidence. Even Duncan was trying to find something from the old days. But Curry was just on another level. Nearly every shot he put up went in. The Lakers grinded and clawed just to keep the deficit manageable, but Curry gave them absolutely no room to breathe. With just over 5 minutes left, Sacramento almost blew the lead into double digits. The Lakers scrambled to shake things up, bringing back the five-man group that had pulled off the championship run back in 2014. Klay converted a layup, and the Lakers trimmed the gap again. Both sides were now heading into the final showdown.
Jumper from about 14 feet out. McKee pulls in the rebound.
Three-pointer.
No good. He is currently at 9 of 15, holding right at 60% from the field. Screen is set. Ball swings back to Ariza. Pass to Curry. Kings come up empty again. He is being guarded by Roy. Step back jumper. Sacramento grabs the rebound. Stephen Curry's three-point attempt, and it is absolutely pure. Now Kobe ball goes to Duncan. Tipped by the defense. He gets it back. They retain possession. McKee puts it up. Bounces off the rim. Curry from outside. And here comes the three. Sacramento drains another one.
No question about it. His three-point shooting tonight has been something supernatural.
Watching Curry out there looking like a cold-blooded assassin, the Lakers, sensing the danger, called a desperate timeout. Out of the break, Klay stepped up and carried the weight of the entire franchise on his shoulders, rose up and drained a three. Kobe locked in on Curry full court, trying to buy Klay more room to keep chipping away. But Klay, shouldering this kind of responsibility for the first time, was visibly lacking the composure and experience it takes. Because this used to be Kobe and Duncan's job, and with a burning desire to win, he reached in on Roy on defense, and Roy drew the foul for three. The Lakers situation cratered immediately, but the Kings showed no mercy. Roy hit a mid-range jumper, then forced another foul and knocked down the free throws. They had completely broken the Lakers. The team that had dominated this league for 15 straight years couldn't even push it to a Game 7. They were eliminated from the 2015-16 season right then and there. And the Kings, they took off like a horse finally freed from its reins. With the Lakers' stranglehold finally broken, Sacramento was unstoppable, sweeping the next two rounds 4-0 to claim the franchise's first championship in NBA history since the merger. But what nobody expected was how humble Curry was after winning Finals MVP. He didn't claim to be the greatest of all time. He didn't let it go to his head, because looking around at all the legends who had retired that year, name after legendary name, he understood deeply how hard it was to win a championship. And he knew the title wasn't his alone to claim. What he wanted was to keep pushing toward greatness, whether that meant being like Duncan, giving everything quietly and selflessly, never worrying about his numbers or his stats, or being like Kobe, never taking load management nights, showing up even through injury, never passing the blame when it mattered most. After more than a decade of truly having nothing left in the tank, Duncan rode off into the sunset, and Kobe was left as nearly the oldest active player in the league. His overall rating had dropped to just 93. The Lakers' grip on the league was visibly slipping, and with veterans like West retiring, a glaring hole opened up at the power forward position. With no cap space to work with, the Lakers had to go to work on draft night. To get a high lottery pick, they had no choice but to make a trade. And in the end, the Lakers made the painful decision to move McKee and Chandler as trade chips, giving up as many as 6 draft picks in total to acquire the 6th pick from the Trail Blazers and the 8th pick from the Bulls. Of course, that also meant the Lakers had officially shut the window on any chance of contending for the next several years. But their luck turned out to be remarkable. On draft night, they landed Sabonis and Jaylen Brown in one shot, 2 high upside prospects with serious potential. And what made it even more exciting was that in both of these rookies, the Lakers could catch glimpses of what Duncan and Kobe had once been. Sabonis and Brown were also incredibly fortunate. Under the careful mentorship of the veteran leaders around them, their development was steady and real. Even though in the 2017 season, with Gasol going down again for the year, the Lakers finished with just a 45-win record and got bounced in the first round by the Thunder. That kind of experience in the long run was an invaluable piece of their growth. And it was right around this time that people finally started to grasp just how terrifying Curry and the Kings really were. After winning the regular season MVP, Curry led the Kings to a dominant title defense and picked up his 2nd consecutive Finals MVP. Maybe during the Lakers' decade plus of dominance, there were a lot of players who could have become superstars, but never got the chance. Time flew by, and the 2017 offseason arrived. With an eye on the future, the Lakers made another bold move, trading Rajon Rondo, who had been developed as a core piece, but just wasn't the right fit as a franchise cornerstone, for the Jazz's 7th pick, and they used it to select De'Aaron Fox. With that, the Lakers' rebuilding roster was essentially in place. Even with only 4 players rated above 80 overall, under the guidance of the all-time great Kobe, still in the building as a player mentor, the Lakers put together one of the best records in the Western Conference. They knocked out the Suns 4-1 in the first round of the playoffs, then took down the Spurs 4-2 in the second. Sure, Kobe still had his highlight moments, but more often than not, he couldn't sustain high-efficiency offense consistently anymore. His value was increasingly on the defensive end. But in Game 7 against the Spurs, Kobe turned the clock back in the biggest way, dropping 34 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists, giving everyone a glimpse of that player who used to glide through the league and dominate with pure, effortless brilliance as the best shooting guard alive. And then, even more surprisingly, Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, Kobe carried that fire right into the next series. His offense and defense were both electric. He unlocked the entire Lakers attack, and even the defending champion Kings went down at Staples Center. But performances like that just couldn't be a nightly thing anymore. 5 games later, the Lakers were knocked out for the 3rd year in a row. And for the 3rd straight year, the Kings punched their ticket to the finals. But just as the Kings had a 3-1 lead and were on the doorstep of a three-peat, the unexpected happened. Brandon Roy went down with a devastating ACL tear, done for the season. The 76ers seized the moment, reeled off 3 straight wins, and became the new champions. LeBron James, who had won so many regular season MVPs over the years, finally had his championship ring and his finals MVP trophy to go with it. He had officially carved his name alongside Kobe, Duncan, and Jordan as a candidate for Mount Rushmore of the game. The legend of a one-man dynasty would echo for years to come. But during the offseason, something else completely took over the conversation, overshadowing the championship talk entirely. Kobe Bryant, 22 years a Laker, a force of nature in this league, quietly announced his retirement, following in Duncan's footsteps. The media was baffled. The fans were heartbroken. But as the soul of the Lakers, Kobe explained it simply, this was the best decision for the team. On the court, he had always been the first one charging into battle. And now, stepping away, his heart was still with the franchise. When you think about it, the Lakers he had carried for 2 more years were a team with real talent, real experience, and real cap flexibility. After the offseason additions of Bogdan and Lopez, quality pieces in their own right, the Lakers roster got stronger and more balanced. When the 2018-19 regular season wrapped up, they had not only climbed back into the top 2 in the Western Conference, they went on an unexpected postseason run and brought the championship back to Los Angeles for the first time in 3 years. And with that, the story of Shaq and Duncan swapping franchises, of Kobe and Duncan joining forces, had finally come to its complete end. Next video, we'll dive into the full alternate career story of Kobe and LeBron switching paths for their entire careers.